This appliance here is a little giant water pump, and I'm going to be using it to pump condensate from the air conditioner all the way to the nearest drain, which happens to be the kitchen sink here. And this is necessary because the only convenient window here is right where this air conditioner is located, but there is no drain nearby. So this pump will allow moving the water to where the drain actually is. Now, up to this point, I've just been doing it the manual way with this bucket here and the drain tube from the AC going into that bucket. But that means that on very humid days, it can only run for a few hours before that bucket gets nearly filled up. So this pump will allow running it for much longer periods of time without having to worry about that. So I've taken the cover off this little giant water pump to show you what's inside here. The only change that I've had to make, so these are the relay contacts that are used for the overflow sensor, typically for either sounding an alarm or shutting off the equipment that might be running into this, depending on how you have it wired. By default, it is connected to the second terminal here in the middle. This is the normally open terminal, at least that's how they label it, and then this one on the top where I've moved it is the normally closed terminal. And you just kind of have to pull on this real hard with a pair of pliers, and then you can move it. Now, it's kind of a misnomer because it's on the normally closed terminal. It's really normally open. Only when the switch is triggered will it actually activate, and then the circuit is closed. But that's how they've named it, so I'm just using their nomenclature here. Now, since I have it connected to what they call the normally closed terminal, in other words, it'll close when the switch is raised by the water in the tank here, I'm using this for the alarm use case, not for shutting off the equipment connected to it. And what I've done here is I've just wired this into a modular telephone jack because, of course, being a phone person, I like to run everything into the phone system, and so that's what I'm doing here. So I've now connected it to the telephone line, and this runs all the way back to the patch panel. And what's going to happen is whenever this is triggered, this is connected to my alarm system as a sensor input, the alarm system that's running on the phone system, basically. And then it's also going to kick off a call to a bell chime that is used as an audible alarm. So this is the bell chime here. It's just on the back of one of the racks here. I've got it plugged into the phone system, and I've got it on sort of a medium loud ring setting in the ringer position as opposed to the chime setting. So I can go ahead and do a quick demonstration of this just to show that it's working properly. So I can manually raise the switch, and now that's triggered the audible alarm of the bell chime. But as soon as I drop the switch, the alarm stops. And in a moment here, I should get a page on my pager, and there it is. Letting me know that the water pump is about to overflow, so at that point I could do something about it. This here is a 100-foot reel of 3/8 inch inner diameter, 1/2 inch outer diameter vinyl tubing. I'm going to be using most of it, but I don't need all of it, so I can simply cut it somewhere around here. And now I've connected that tube securely and snugly to the drain tube on the pump. Now, the way that this tube is connected is not optimal. The instructions themselves suggest that the tube should go straight up to its highest vertical point and then slope downwards to the drain. That's a little bit difficult in my case because I have the tube in part of the kitchen snaking along the top of the refrigerator. However, I have left enough slack in this tube that if I needed to modify how this is set up later, including adding a large vertical height increase here before snaking downwards. I could do that. So now we're ready to test the pump. We'll pour some more. And now we do see water finally draining into the sink.